Home and podcast time.
That's right. Binford Tools is proud to present a home improvement podcast. My name is Adam. You'll know my co-host, Jordan. Hi, Jordan.
Oh.
No. Just when I thought we were done with Christmas, we're back.
I thought I had to do something to get us in the mood because it's way in our rear view mirror now, and it's hard to bring us back. But we're gonna have to try for this episode. It's a Christmas episode on home and podcast.
It is, yeah. In Milwaukee, where I'm at right now, we haven't really had much snow this year, but we are on the brink of like 10 to 13 inches of snow coming Friday and Saturday, which will make the Packers playoff game pretty interesting. But so I'm unfortunately kind of going to be in that Christmas mindset again with all the snowdrops, and I don't feel great about it. But I live in the Midwest and it's wintertime, Jordan. What can I expect?
Do you have a fireplace where you're at?
I do not. No.
Oh, bummer.
We do have heat, though. So
that's good. I was worried.
Yeah,
I was going to tell you, go ahead and buy a ticket and fly down here. You'll be safe.
I tell you what. Yeah, I know you got the extra bedrooms. That's for sure. You told me that you have so many bedrooms at your new house that if I went there, I could keep my stuff in a separate room than where I sleep. There's that much space.
Well, my problem is you've always been bad with directions, and I think you might get lost
is that
in the house.
Well, don't you give everyone that comes like a map when they enter?
Do. Yeah, I give them actually. I have my own GPS system because I'm so rich. So,
Yeah, it's funny. You told me
the
podcast, last year that we were in the red. But also you're buying these big new fancy houses.
Don't ask questions, Adam.
I have some questions.
Don't you dare. Once you start uncovering the dirt, it's going to be bad. So I would stay away if I were you.
Now, when you say the dirt, are you talking about the Courtney Cox show that was on FX about 10 years ago? The Dirt?
Was that a show? I don't know. I don't
Courtney
remember
Cox Arquette.
As far as I know, that after Friends, everybody just stopped working except for Jennifer Aniston. Hey, which
Friends character are you, Jordan? Let me guess, Chandler.
What would you call me, Ross? Probably.
Everybody
wants to be Chandler.
Every guy is like, I'm Chandler.
Nobody wants to be a dumb Joey, and nobody wants to be Ross for obvious reasons.
Yeah, everybody wants to be Chandler. Mind you, Chandler, he's probably the most annoying. No, Ross is the most annoying. It doesn't matter. We're not talking about Friends. We're talking about Home Improvement. And the star of Home Improvement, what's his name, Jordan? It's Tim Allen.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
We've been talking about him for 160 episodes, and I forgot his name.
Do you think I was setting you up for, what's Mark's name? I'm blanking. We are sharp today. Tara Noah Smith. Tim Allen, Jordan. He was at the Golden Globes. I watched the Golden Globes, and I just want to talk a little bit about Tim Allen.
I wish you would.
I know that you don't follow our podcast on Twitter. Did you happen to see the photo that he posted of himself before the Golden Globes?
I did not.
Okay. I'll describe it to you.
Yeah, go ahead and describe it.
It'll be good.
I can see our tweets. I just don't get on Twitter anymore. So.
Yeah, good. That's a really good choice. You're making the right decision because it's a.
The only thing worth being on Twitter for is the Home and podcast feed.
Yeah, one of the main things I'm looking forward to when we're done with the podcast is not spending as much time on Twitter. That will be the greatest gift of all. Tim Allen, he was looking pretty dapper. Black suit, kind of a fancy tie. I forget what you call it, where it's like, I'm not going to try to explain it. Big,
not a bow tie. That's not what you're.
No, it was a tie. It's like a pattern. It's a patterned kind of tie.
Okay.
That was popular a couple years ago. Less so now. Chuck Bass on Gossip Girl wore a lot of them. I don't know what it's called. He had big kind of John Lennon glasses that were a little bit tinted gray, and he had a very big spike in the front of his hair, very tall. Kirsten looked at it. She commented how tall it was. So. That's how tall it was. She would only comment if it was very, very tall.
How tall was it?
Not doing that. Golden Globes. It's a drunk show. Everybody's very, very drunk. It's like kind of what it's known for. They hit the booze hard. People slur in their speech all night. Ricky Gervais is there.
I heard he
I don't want to wade into those
took
letters.
everyone to task.
I don't. It's about as divisive as our country's political situation right now. I would say, like, whether or not you liked Ricky Gervais probably depends on where you align politically. I think even if you were a real conservative person, you would probably think it was trash, but that's just my opinion. So he came up there and, he's making very crude, kind of lame jokes. Tim Allen is there. Tim Allen presents an award with Lauren Graham of not Gossip Girl, Gilmore Girls. Never watched it, but
too many shows with girls. GG's.
He comes out and like Tim Allen's presence at these things is always kind of funny because I guess at this point he's alienated himself. I think I get the feeling that people probably aren't real psyched to talk to Tim Allen, just because of various things he said. But he comes out and he's like, you haven't seen the clip, have you?
No.
He gives like the most like Tim Allen joke ever. He's like, I got so much makeup here tonight, I feel like I'm in a casket. And people are like,
They're not drunk enough for that, huh?
No, it's like Ricky Gervais is making jokes about like Judi Dench like licking her own asshole like a cat.
Oh boy!
And then there's Tim Allen making that joke, and that
which one do you like better?
I like the Tim Allen one quite a bit better.
Me too.
So it landed a little bit better than that. And then he made a joke about how you couldn't use Apple products backstage, which I didn't really get. And I have a feeling the Apple product joke was was like a riff because Lauren Graham looked pretty uncomfortable and ready for him to stop talking.
Might be how she always is next to Tim Allen, though.
Yeah, I get that. It could be. Yeah, she might not have been happy with that that assignment. So that went okay. Like I was just glad he didn't say anything worse, in a variety of ways. I thought he might really go off the cuff.
It's the same way you feel about your dad when you're around him, right?
Did I say that recently?
No.
I mean,
sometimes around me, I don't know.
I think a lot of people feel that way about their dads.
I was going to say, I feel like, once their parents get a little bit older, you're always kind of wondering.
You're like, okay, like, we're in mixed company. Don't wade into
Just be careful. Just be careful.
For sure. Especially like Midwest 60-year-old parents. It's like, okay, let's be careful. But it went mostly without a hitch. But I noticed later on, Joaquin Phoenix won the Golden Globe for Best Actor for Joker, which is ho-hum for me. But he was sitting right next to Tim Allen, like in the table arrangements, and I was trying to think what a conversation between Joaquin Phoenix and Tim Allen would go like. Like, what is their kind of common ground? Like, is Joaquin Phoenix like, oh man, is he like a big Wild Hogs fan? Or like...
He's a big Shaggy Dog fan.
Yeah, like, what would they possibly talk about? Because, like, Joaquin Phoenix is like... he's a little annoying, I think. And mostly he's like, he has this air of like, I don't care about award shows, like awards are BS and so on, which I always think is like kind of annoying at award shows. Like fake your gratitude, even if you don't actually have it. But he's
That's
like
not how we feel if we get to the potties, right?
If we get to the potties, now we'll be like, award shows are bullshit. I'm only here, because of my agent. No, it's just like Joaquin's like a big vegan. Tim Allen is presumably not. Like Joaquin's like talking about people not using their private jets. I would imagine Tim Allen likes to use private jets and cars that have high diesel emissions and things like that. So they're very diametrically opposed. And I was just kind of thinking, like, what would a conversation like them have been like? Did they even converse? You'd imagine they did briefly. They're sitting right next to each other. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, maybe it's a moment where the country really came together at this table,
It could be.
I don't know what the common ground was. Hollywood, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they worked. I can't think of anything they.
So
would
they're
work
at
together.
tables at this. It's not like when they're sitting in the theater of the Oscars or whatever.
No, it's like round tables.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like a wedding, basically.
It's like a wedding, yes. And the marriage this year was Ricky Gervais and no one. Ricky Gervais and like a 70-year-old retired mechanic in Omaha, Nebraska. That's who he was kind of playing for, I think, this year.
You think he's gonna come back? Because this is his fifth.
No, he said that he said that this was it, so he really wasn't going to hold back.
Just gonna burn all the bridges he could.
I mean, he didn't even. I don't know. It wasn't like, I don't care if he goes after people and like tries to be like
Edgy.
lewd in body, but the jokes are just like lame. Like, I don't know, if you're gonna do that, do it well. I didn't think he did. And I actually have seen a fair amount of Gervais stuff, and at one point I would have said I was kind of a fan of his. Less so now, but I tried to go with an open mind. He just didn't really do it for me. Meanwhile, you look on Twitter during the Golden Globes, and people are just so mad that Tim Allen's even there, which seems kind of unfair. He's like trending. He didn't say anything really wrong. People are just like, his presence at an award show just really bothered.
Gosh, it's amazing that people even listen to this podcast with the angst and hate for Tim Allen.
I know. Has he brought it on himself? Sure. Did he do anything wrong at the awards? No, he was just, the casket joke is vintage Tim Allen.
That's what we all need. That's what we all need.
So that's really all I got. I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. So,
who's your favorite award host that you've ever seen? Because I think you watch a lot of these shows.
Yeah, these awards are for me.
Yeah.
Favorite award host? Oh man, I thought Ellen DeGeneres did a pretty good job a few years ago.
Yeah.
She did a good job. It's hard to remember. Like, Seth MacFarlane did it one year, and it was not very good.
That's not who you want.
He's not my that's like Gervais light, kind of. I don't know. It's hard to remember. Chris Rock, Billy Crystal is maybe a little too dated.
You're getting back there.
I mean, he's done it a million times.
I'm trying to think of who else was recent. I feel like
the really
Fallon
bad one
was recent, wasn't he?
I mean, yeah, he's definitely done one before. Kimmel, yeah, Kimmel's good. I actually like Kimmel.
Yeah,
give me Kimmel or DeGeneres. The really bad one everybody talks about is when James Franco and Anne Hathaway did it a few years ago. That was like really, really bad and kind of a what were you thinking? But yeah, Kimmel, DeGeneres, those are pretty good. This year they're not doing a host again, just like last year.
Oh boy.
I
feel like I like having a host though.
Yeah, nobody wants to do it. For I don't know, reasons that are people.
It seems like it only can go wrong type of thing.
Yeah, people are just sort of not willing to take the baggage that goes along with it. It worked out okay without a host last year. Do I think award shows should have hosts? Probably. I don't care a ton though, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time thinking about it. Basically, somebody will do a monologue. So it's kind of like a host anyways, Like, I think last year it was like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler came out, and it was like they were sort of like the hosts. So I don't know, whatever.
They just didn't get the host cred.
I think Tim Allen should host. Give me Karn and Tim Allen coming out and hosting.
If there's one way that he could maybe reclaim some of his former glory, do you think if he just like nailed one of those?
I think people wouldn't, even if he did a spot-on job, I think people would find a way to not like it.
Haters.
I think it kind of is a no-win situation, and yeah, I also think he probably couldn't help himself, and he would take some interesting shots, and that wouldn't work out well. So.
All right. Well, interesting. I don't know when Oscar season is, but Golden Globe season is over.
They will announce the Oscar. Well, this upcoming Monday. So by the time this episode comes out, we'll know the Oscar nominees. So, and then the awards are in February.
All right. There you go. It's that time of the year.
That's right.
It's also that time of the episode where we start diving into the home improvement episode we're covering. This week is going to be episode 162, Bright Christmas, written by our favorite John Vandergriff. He last did Pump You Up, where Brad got interest from a UNC scout for soccer, and it went awry, if you recall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This one aired December 16th, 1997. The title apparently is pulled from White Christmas, written by Irving Berlin, popular song by Bing Crosby. I guess I didn't get that right away. I don't know why. It's a simple, just rhyming, thing, but I guess I just didn't think about it. But we have our own alternative titles. I've got 3 terrible ones this week.
4 terrible ones.
All right, yeah. It's been a struggle to start the year, I feel like.
The Christmas ones are hard. We've had to do so many Christmas ones.
Yeah, you just kind of run out of ideas.
I didn't even do any, so... I mean, I didn't do Christmas-centric ones. So.
I did 2, so We'll see how they go. All right, go ahead.
What's happening here?
Electric. I like it. Mm-hmm. We wish you a merry pun, miss.
Okay.
You sound underwhelmed.
It's okay. All right. Kernel of Sadness. Should have done that when he died.
Yeah. All right. A kernel of sadness. That's yeah, that might be a good one. All right. This one's so stupid. I'm so sorry that you have to hear this. Mm-hmm. I saw mommy kissing Parker Claus.
I'll do my Parker one. Mine's worse, if you can believe it. Parker, I barely know her.
I almost did that one.
Oh, it's bad.
It's so stupid. I love it. All right, this one's a riff on a former episode title, so which is always good, right?
Yeah.
Totally Tool Time.
Explain that one to me.
They do a Toys for Tots thing.
Oh yeah, they do. Okay. Here's my last one. It's not very good. Dosey, don't tell me who to date.
All right, my favorite one's Parker. I barely even know her.
Parker, I barely know her. Parker, yeah. Man, that guy is a gem.
It's kind of like
an uncut gem.
Do you like Parker, or what's Jill's like best friend's boyfriend's name that we've liked in 2 episodes?
Gary?
That can't be right. Scary Gary.
Whatever. I like Parker better.
Parker's just not in a lot, unfortunately. But
that means he has less of a chance for me not to like him.
That's true.
Small dosage.
All right. Well, let's start talking about Parker and many others in this episode. We're going to open at home. Tim is talking up his lighting display for the year, and he's thinking he's going to have the best year yet until Mark shares a letter. Apparently the people who run the contest are going to be very strict with the regulations because of some energy consumption issues and good taste. And they call this the Tim Taylor Clause. And,
I'm thinking Santa Claus?
Yeah, this is a strict homage to that, maybe?
Yes, it's so strict, yes.
So strict. A direct line. There's lots of rules, including one that takes the Three Stooges out of the nativity scene. Bummer.
Yeah. Toys for Tots sweatshirt in this
lots
scene.
Lots of tots.
I tried to find if there was any publicity on that, them trying to do like some kind of a I don't know. I'm not sharp. Trying to do a campaign, drive, something.
I don't know.
I got nothing. But basically, I think that sort of like when they used the YMCA stuff, I think they're just giving publicity for publicity's sake, and I think it's a good organization. So
there you go.
Was that so hard? I got there finally.
It took a while.
It took a while. All right. Next, you probably want me to do the next scene.
I'll do it if you want.
Yeah, go.
You want to just sit here and say things every once in a while?
Did you hear me just go through that thing?
Yeah, it's true.
It's true. Better.
At home later, Tim is rolling out the decor. I don't remember. He has a camel or a reindeer or something right now.
Reindeer, Jordan.
All right.
Reindeer.
They're all the same to me.
Reindeer games.
Yeah. Jill is wrapping presents. Also making a fruitcake. Ha ha ha. Fruitcakes. They really... Every Christmas thing I've ever seen, fruitcakes really just get lamb-basted.
No, lamb-basted. No, Jordan, that's lamb. Fruitcake, I don't know that I've ever had a fruitcake. I've had a pineapple upside-down cake.
As have I.
Damn, those are good. So
I don't even really like pineapple that much, and yeah, I like it by itself, but I don't like it in other things, and it's good.
Hey, Jordan, hot damn, those are good, right?
Well, how do you feel about pineapple on pizza?
I mean, I would never order it myself. I'll eat it if it's the only kind of pizza there.
I pick it off.
Yeah, big surprise. Are you allergic to pineapple, pretty boy?
No, I like pineapple, just not on pizza. It doesn't belong there.
Yeah, you don't want to get pizza healthier than it needs to be.
That's right. Give me ham, bacon. I throw a mushroom on there.
Extra cheese. Stuffed crust cheese pizza.
Chicago deep dish, baby.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's good stuff. Actually,
all right.
I'm not a big fan, but that's okay.
Fruitcake.
Yep.
She's adamant that it's a Christmas cake for some reason.
She doesn't, for whatever reason, the joke is she's obviously making a fruitcake, but she doesn't view it as such.
Well, because fruitcakes get such a bad rap, she doesn't want it to be associated with that.
Why didn't she just make a pineapple upside down cake? I mean, hot damn, those are good.
I know what I'm making tonight.
Yeah, you are.
Wilson has decided to give his allotment of electricity to Tim for some stupid reason. Tim apparently stole the letter, so Wilson was not informed of the judge's decision of the lighting contest this year. We also learned that Jill's mom is coming into town. And
Lillian.
Yeah, she's coming to town. Be nice to her, Jill says to Tim.
That's like the kind of... if I'm Tim, I'm like, you don't need to tell me that.
And that's what he says. He's like,
Yeah.
that's too bad. I had a bunch of jokes lined up. But this is the first Christmas since the Colonel passed. So, it's going to be a rough one.
I did the math because, I felt like
time.
it was important. Guess how long it's been since the Colonel died?
Seems like just yesterday in my heart. I don't know. Like 2 weeks? 3 weeks?
7 months, Jordan.
7 months?
Jordan, she's not dating someone 3 weeks after the Colonel died.
What episode was that?
You monster. It's called Taps.
It does seem like yesterday that we covered that. Maybe it's because the Colonel's always with me in my heart.
Yesterday. Oh, the Colonel seems so far away.
What an episode
this is though he's
shaping
dead.
up to be.
She's dancing on the Colonel's grave in this episode, man.
Basically. Frankenstein arrives. He's going to be a wise man carrying frankincense. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, not bad. If there's not going to be a lot of jokes in this episode that you're going to enjoy, so get them while you can. Jill.
Oh, interesting. I kind of feel like there were a lot of jokes I liked.
Were there? Okay. Well, we're going to see. Jill had a picture restored of her parents' wedding, and that's going to be the gift to Lillian, so I think that's what she was wrapping up earlier. And Lily does arrive. Brad picked her up from the airport.
Did you call her Lily? You guys close?
Yeah, we're besties. You only call her Lillian, huh?
Yeah, that's her name.
All right. Well, I think she goes by Lily sometimes. I bet you Parker calls her Lily.
Yeah, I know what Parker calls her, and we ain't saying it on this show.
Brad is a better driver than Tim, we find out. Mm-hmm. Except for that one time.
I got an episode where he gets rear-ended on Woodward that says otherwise, but sure.
Well, was that his fault, though?
Nah, we weren't there. I don't know.
Tim drops beams
there are
on
good
cars.
people on both sides.
Tim drops beams on cars, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine him being a great driver. You want me to take the next scene, too? I'll just keep going if you want.
No, I got a couple things.
We can get this through real quick.
I got a couple things to say. Tim mentions that he is... I don't think you mentioned this. He's partnering with Wilson so that he can use his electricity.
I did mention this, but go ahead. Talk about it again.
Sorry, I wasn't listening. Okay, well, let me skip forward. Tim mentions that he's going to have elves like Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, I like that joke.
It seems strange. Didn't it feel weird to have Tim talking about Shaquille O'Neal? I don't know why. It just felt like a weird thing.
Why?
Like, they feel like they're from two different eras. I know they're not. I understand the year sync up. But hearing Tim mention Shaq, it just sort of... My mind was just sort of perplexed by it. I don't know. Just Shaq feels more contemporary than Home Improvement does to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, Shaq is still around. Home Improvement, not so much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, this is... Let's see, we said 97?
97.
So this is right. You got young Shaq terrorizing the league right now.
Yeah. I know. I know the year sync up, and Shaq came in the league like 93, 94, 95, something like that. So yeah, I know he's around. I just, for whatever reason, the show mentioning Shaquille O'Neal just felt odd.
I wish he came on the show.
That would be cool. I think we're gonna get Grant Hill eventually.
A little bit charismatic, less charismatic. I feel like.
You think?
But Grant's a good guy. I like him too.
Grant's
for a dookie.
Who do you like? Who do you think's a better guy, Parker or Grant Hill?
Grant Hill, easy.
I think it's a little closer than you're giving him credit for.
To be fair, I know a lot more about Grant Hill than I do Parker.
Okay, see, I'm the opposite. All right. Okay, next scene. I will step in. Spark plug on the tree.
Whoa.
Tim's putting auto parts in the tree this year. I don't know.
Get ready for that thread.
There's a joke that sucks here where Jill says, like, yeah, at Easter we have a muffler hunt.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Yeah, that was embarrassing. I felt bad for her.
Do you remember a long time ago when Jill had, like, that monologue where she just had to say joke after joke after joke?
That was, like, an early season 1 or season 2 episode where she was like, yeah, it was way too jokey. Kind of sucked.
That was rough.
Yeah.
This is not nearly as bad, but it's not a good joke.
Turns out an actor's only as good as their writing a lot of the time. You want proof of that? Watch Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems versus, I don't know, The Ridiculous Six on Netflix. Yeah, you tell me what the difference is. It's the writing. All right. Bright Christmas, Home Improvement. This is going exactly where you think it's going.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, and this one seemed. As soon as you saw her, it just felt pretty obvious.
As soon as you saw her and she's happy, Lillian wants Jill to meet a friend.
Oh,
and,
how convenient!
His name's Parker. He's 19 years old. He likes to take pictures. Lives in New York.
He's got webs coming out of his hands.
Yeah, he's Spider-Man, I guess you might say.
But don't tell anybody.
Yeah. No, his name's Parker. They've been dating a few months. Jeez. Whoa. Wants to know if he can come. I gotta say, this is sort of a thing that Kirsten, my girlfriend, and I go back and forth on. And, it's a tough thing because this is inevitable. And it seems to happen a lot wherein, one of your parents passes away and the other one finds someone, and it's kind of awkward, it's kind of quick, and it's sort of uncomfortable, but it's sort of a tale as old as time. I know it happened with my father's father, and maybe he wasn't so comfortable with it at first, but this is just a thing that happens, and Kirsten and I go back and forth, and I always say that it's probably hard for the kids, and she says, kids should just want to see their parents be happy regardless. And I think it's complex is what I'm saying, Jordan.
It is complicated, I feel like. This also happened with my grandmother.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I see... Sorry. I see...
You don't have to get worked up about it.
I'm very worked up. Yeah, it's complex.
Complicated. It's complex.
I mean, you definitely want to see your parents happy, but also it's hard not to think about your own missing father or mother in that situation.
Here's the mistake. So. The mistake was having him come to the first Christmas after the Colonel passed away. That was the mistake. Also,
the mistake was I mean, we'll get to the end here, but not talking about the grieving and stuff ahead of time. I don't know, because I feel like that's what gives Jill context to be oh, you actually have thought this through.
Yeah, Lillian comes in and she's just kind of bebopping and scatting around, talking about going dancing and going to Austin, keeping it weird and all that sort of stuff. And it's I don't know, maybe you should just tiptoe around these things a little bit. But it's kind of, I don't know. At the same token, it's kind of Jill doesn't think a lot of her mother in this situation. No. Yeah. Which is kind of rough. So you would like to, I don't know. Well, Jill, she was about to give that picture that she digitally remastered, but she hides it, and Lillian gives her a picture of Parker. Oh, boy. Yeah. Tim comes through with a partridge in a pear tree, and it's one of the Partridge Family members. I like that one. Keith? I don't know Keith. I don't know much about the Partridges. I know Danny. Is Danny Partridge somebody? I think he is. It's a funny joke. What else we got going on here? You got anything else to add? I mean, just at the very end of the scene, Jill shares the news with Tim about what's going on. Okay, and she asks if she's overreacting. Yeah. Have you watched the... are you subscribing to Netflix right now, or are you going through one of those periods where you don't want to pay for it? Just keep asking questions. Have you watched the John Mulaney and the Sack Lunch Bunch thing? I've heard of it. I have not watched it. It's pretty funny. There's a sketch in there where it's like a musical thing, and it's called Grandma's Got a New Boyfriend, and it was very much kind of like this episode. It's pretty funny. If you have Netflix and you're listening, and you should seek that out because it's a modern take on Bright Christmas. Yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, it made me think of that. There's a joke about date, going on a date. Fruitcake. It's the fruitcake that just comes through this whole episode. Yeah. Tale as old as time, etc., etc. Yeah, Grandma's got a boyfriend. Next scene. On the roof. Very short scene. Parker's there, and this is the first time we get to see Parker. And it seems like a good guy. He's helping Tim, set everything up, and he found a loophole to help Tim get more power. They didn't say anything about voltage in their Parker letter. Is a lawyer, right? I don't know what he is. I thought is he an engineer?
I thought he was an engineer. I don't think he was a lawyer.
Okay, it'd be better if he was a lawyer because
He doesn't seem white collar to me.
He can like leaf through contracts, and he figured out the voltage clause.
Well, he's up there thinking about electrical things. So
don't you feel like she says Parker is like he's like still working. I feel like Parker's a little old to be working still.
Well, when you love what you do, you just don't ever want to quit, you know?
Is it true that when you love what you do, you never work a day in your life?
That is true, okay. Which is why...
Do you work every day?
I would say every day that I record this podcast is work.
Well, hey. Wow, okay, sure.
You set me up for that one.
Yeah, go there, why don't you, hotshot? This
if you
podcast is paying for your mansion down there.
I was just going to say, hey, if you want to come to that podcast convention down here, you can stay at my place.
What? I honestly didn't really look at that very closely. What's the deal?
I think it's just a lot of podcasters get together and they have networking and presentations and breakout sessions and all sorts of stuff. And it's not cheap, unfortunately.
Barf. Yeah, just when I want to do network with other podcasters.
You've always hated other podcasters, which is a bit strange to me.
I don't hate other podcasters. I just don't want to network with them. I don't really want to network with anyone, though.
How are you gonna start your next podcast venture without talking to people?
We've done okay here. Yeah, I don't know. We should be the ones throwing a convention.
Well, we're gonna be ones writing a book, if you ask me.
That's right. That's true. That's right. All right. So, Parker is played by George Coe, C-O-E. Guessing it's Coe. Passed away in 2015, age 86. Nominated for an Oscar, Jordan. For a short subject film called De Duva, The Dove. I think maybe it's French. He's in some pretty good movies. Kramer versus Kramer, great movie. Stepford Wives, 1975 version, cool movie. Transformers: Dark Side of the Moon, less cool.
It got worse as the years went on.
Yeah, I know. 132 credits to his name. He did, his last credit is the voice of Woodhouse and the Pope on Archer, which is a show that people like.
Interesting.
I didn't know Archer had been going on since 2009. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a while.
All right. So, George Coe. He's, I can't say enough about him. He's a great guy. Better than Grant Hill, assuredly.
Isn't that the truth? Well, you want to go back inside?
Kitchen.
All right, let's walk.
We're walking in the kitchen.
That's how I walk.
You're doing your physical comedy. Great. We should network. I should network and find someone better at physical comedy. Lillian, she's very excited. She's in love. It's as you and your old girlfriend Alicia May used to say, infatuation.
There's a name I never thought would be dropped on this podcast.
Bet you edit that out. No, you won't. You're too lazy. They met in the frozen food aisle.
I'm going to put some very choice things coming out of your mouth soon. I'm gonna cut up some of your old stuff and create a monster.
I am throwing darts today.
What have I done to you?
I feel no ill will.
I really invite you to my house? This is the way you treat me?
There are some days where you do bother me. This isn't one of those days. I don't know. It's just, I'll try to stop.
What do I usually do that bothers you?
Oh, we can't go. We can't start there today. I'll tell you. I'll just send you a lot of.
I think at this point, people listening to this podcast don't really care so much about the show, but our relationship, and they want us to get it out on the air.
What do you do that bothers me? Jordan, I don't want this to be our longest episode ever. They met in the frozen food aisle. Jill's response is cold. That's what I wrote. And then they basically had this conversation at a grocery store. They went dancing. They go dancing. And Jill says, I thought you hated dancing. She said, no, the Colonel hated it. I thought the Colonel would really like dancing. Just kidding. Then Tim and Parker come in, and they're really getting along. Tim never had a good relationship with the Colonel because the Colonel was not a very nice person to anyone.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, he just wasn't that pleasant. So they're getting along great. Tim's wearing a pretty cool vest in this scene. I have pretty much the exact same one, so I thought that was worth sharing. Parker and Lillian have to meet the Johnsons for dinner, and I thought it was going to be Doc Johnson, but it's not. And then,
that would have been trouble right there.
Yeah, I guess you want Parker to be
fraternizing with the enemy.
Yeah, you want Parker to be likable. And then Jill says, "When are you going to be home?" And Lillian says, "Don't wait up."
Whoa! Yeah, and earlier they talk about not only did they like go dancing and stuff, they had a weekend getaway together.
They had a weekend in Austin.
Whoa.
Where things got weird, because that is what happens in Austin.
That's pretty much every time you hear Austin, you immediately say it's weird.
It's weird. Keep Austin weird. And then Jill throws something at the partridge. This scene where she's like...
wait, not just something, it's the fruitcake.
Okay, yeah, it's a fruitcake, yeah. This scene where, like, she says, "Don't wait up," is almost exactly like the scene where Tim's mom starts dating the shop teacher.
Art Leonard.
Art Leonard, yeah. Fart Leonard. And she's like, "Don't wait up." So, we're...
You know what?
Familiar ground.
Yeah, familiar ground, but it still works this time around for me. Right. That one was also a long time ago, I feel like, so... But not only is Parker like Tim's best friend, he's coming on Tool Time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and Jill's mad at Tim at the end of this scene. She's like, "You never invited my dad on Tool Time." He's like, "Yeah, he wouldn't have come. Your dad was a jerk."
Oh my gosh, can you imagine the Colonel?
And I'm glad he's dead. No, he didn't say that. But
the Colonel on Tool Time. I don't know. Salute to military, I guess, is what they would do.
I like M. Emmett Walsh, and I like the Colonel's performance, but you know, what are we supposed to do? He wasn't a nice guy.
And that was his character.
He was stern but fair. I don't even know if he was fair. He's just stern.
He was stern but fair. Yeah. That's pretty much how it ends. Jill, I mean, they do like a commercial break here real quick after Jill throws the fruitcake.
Well, you gotta amp up the drama a little bit.
Tension.
Like, what's gonna happen? What happened to the fruitcake? Did someone step on it?
Did
Mark step on the fruitcake and then fall? I don't know.
Mark ate it.
Yeah, after he put an incantation on it.
The scene ends where Jill says, "I'm going to talk to my mom."
Yeah.
And Tim says, "Please don't."
Yeah.
On Tool Time, it's very festive. Mm-hmm. They've got Christmas decorations everywhere. Everyone's dressed up nicely. Tim's got like a full suit and tie on, so he's ready for the holidays. Yeah. This show, they're talking about last-minute gift ideas for men. And they talk about like a noise machine, and the joke is that there's Indy racing cars there. You
know what? The funny thing is, I could have told you exactly. I knew before they played the sound that was what it was going to be.
Yeah, that's right.
Even down to the Indy part of it.
Did you?
That's how I know I've watched too much of this show.
Yeah. Did you know that the stocking stuffers were coming? Because this really harkened me back to something we've done in the past.
I didn't think about that.
I've recently shared with you.
Oh, that's true. I liked this joke. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, VCRs of old Tool Time episodes, and there's just lots of puns going on here. Yeah. So I didn't write any of them down. I got them
down. Okay. Silence of the Lamps, Glueless, The Nutty Compressor.
They're good.
Yeah, funny. The one at the end. Oof.
I don't remember that one. We'll have to.
You don't remember the last scene of this episode? It's horrible.
I will when I get there.
Okay.
Tim brings out a surprise. He goes to the back, and he's got they say like a wagon, but then they hear an engine. And he drives out one of those little red wagons, but it's giant size, and it's filled with toys for Tots.
It has Toys for Tots on the front. It's a radio flyer. It's kind of a weird ending to the scene. It's very abrupt.
It is very abrupt, yeah.
It's like, okay, that's it.
There's really no closing to it, but you know what? Kids get toys, and I'm okay with that.
Okay, so you do like it when kids get toys?
Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and step out on a limb here and say I like that.
You used to be really like a staunch anti-Toys for Tots guy, but I'm glad that you've kind of come around on them.
Yeah, well, they paid me enough money to kind of switch sides, you know?
Okay, yeah, and that is the spirit of Christmas. Fence! No. Yes, Fence!
I like when you're confused. It's
yes,
good.
No. Fence. Wilson. Jordan, let's play a clip.
Wilson, what are you doing?
Well, I'm trying to black out my windows so I can finally get some sleep.
Insomnia?
No. Timsomnia. Here they go! Do not look directly into the Jesus.
I brought you a present.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, boy, that's heavy. Jill, is it fruitcake?
No, it's not a fruitcake. It's a Christmas cake. It's made with mangoes and papayas and... Oh, hell, it's a fruitcake! It's a fruitcake! Fruitcake! I'm sorry, I'm just kind of upset about this whole thing with my mother and her new boyfriend. Tim says that I should wait till after the holidays to talk to her about it, but, I'm acting so crazy. I'm throwing baked goods at Keith Partridge. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, he's no Greg Brady, but...
No. I mean, what do you think about whether I should talk to her?
Well, I agree with the poet William Blake, who said, I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath did end.
Yeah, but if I talk to her, it could ruin her Christmas.
But if you don't talk to her, it could ruin everybody else's.
Hey, Wilson, I want to show you Santa and his sleigh.
Not right now, Tim.
Just take a minute.
No, just a couple of minutes, please.
I want to show it to you.
What if I say the wrong thing and she gets hurt?
Well, she won't if you just express yourself in a sensitive and a tactful way. Tim, will you keep your freaking Santa out of my yard?
Wilson is blacking out his windows because it's so bright.
He didn't think that through, did he?
Did Wilson actually partner with Tim, or did Tim kind of make that up? Because Wilson does not seem very chill with anything at this point.
Yeah, and he should know better if he did partner with Tim.
Tim is on the roof. He turns on the lights. It's bright. Jill gives Wilson a fruitcake, kind of explains the whole situation. We get a William Blake quote here. I feel like we've gone to the William Blake well a lot.
At this point, they all just kind of blend together.
Tim kind of keeps interrupting. He wants to show Wilson Santa. Wilson says no, but he does it anyways. And it's like the reindeer and Santa are on like a track that cut through Wilson's yard.
It's like a roller coaster.
It is like a roller coaster. It's pretty cool. It's probably the best Christmas display he's done yet.
Yeah, I mean, he for sure would win. Yeah. Santa coaster? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot beat a Santa coaster. That's for sure. No. Next scene, Jordan.
What's his advice? You didn't even share the advice.
Oh,
do I need to break out the Wilsometer?
No, the paraphrasing the advice is you better confront something now than wait later. You could ruin Christmas if you don't. Ruin everyone else's. Something like that. Am I getting close?
Good enough for me.
Yeah.
All right. Christmas morning. Lily is even happier than usual.
Stop calling her Lily. That's isn't that your rabbit's name? Is that why you're doing it? You sicko.
Why does that make me a sicko?
I don't know. I just want
to be fair, I know multiple Lilies. So
how many? I don't know any besides this one.
Really?
How many Lilies do you know?
2 or 3. 2.
Which
3 if you count this one.
You can count this one. Okay,
all right,
3.
3 now.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
So cool. She's happy. Lily is happy. Parker's going to be over around 9, so they must be up early, I guess.
Parker has no business at this family Christmas. You're making a big mistake, Lillian.
If he comes, he should just come for dinner, right? Or whatever their Christmas meal is.
Just wait until... Okay, it's Christmas. Let's wait until, 4th of July to bring Parker to the family.
Lily's excited. There's no time to waste.
I know, but you can be excited and not share it with your family. I do it all the time.
It's time to talk. Yeah. This is, I guess, the last straw here for Jill. And she says it's so soon, and Lillian agrees. But she then lets in something that would have been helpful to Jill nights ago. She turned down Parker for weeks. She spent many sleepless nights thinking about the situation and the Colonel, and things have really been hard on her. And Jill kind of accepts that, but things really escalate because she says, you've replaced Dad, and your father could never be replaced. Blah 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 blah.
Jill is a sick burden where she's like, I didn't say yes when he asked me out in the frozen food section. She's like, yeah, you waited till he got to the parking lot.
Oh yeah, that's a rough thing to say to your mom in this situation. I feel like
I liked it.
You did like it. That's how you talk to your mother.
Oh, yeah, right.
Jill didn't realize how hard this Christmas would be on her. At the start of the episode, she's really worried about how her mom would feel, and she didn't even think about herself. And I think that's part of the big problem here for her. Hugs, embracing, reconciliation. It's just like Christmas. They talk about Christmas morning memories. The Colonel has passed on cooking skills to Jill because he used to make terrible apple pancakes and now she makes terrible fruitcakes. So,
Oh man, that was funny. You're not going to talk about she gave her the photo?
I'm not done.
Okay.
I wanted you to react.
Okay, yeah, loved it. Good job.
Jill gives her a present after all, and that is the photo that we mentioned earlier in the episode, and Lily loves it. It's, it's great. So, is there anything else you want to say?
Yeah, weird joke about, like, the Colonel's... Her wedding dress was so tight that the Colonel had to use his sword. Why has the Colonel got a sword? Is that a military thing?
It is a military thing.
Okay, all right. That he used the sword to cut her out of the dress. I knew you were going to do that. Because I was going to say meow. So.
Well, one or the other.
It's a horny home improvement episode. Next scene, lighting display. It's extensive. Tim turns on. Parker's there again. Parker's in the fold.
Parker set this whole thing up. He probably built that coaster.
Parker could use more play. Are we going to see Parker again?
You're the one who does the credits.
Do you think we'll see Parker again?
No.
Okay. I will find out, but I'm going to also talk while I'm searching. Turns it on. Did you see Mark's outfit in this one? This
tell me.
Scene? Well, all black, but also a black backwards cap.
Oh. Think that was a Christmas present?
A little bit. It could be. Hey, Mom, I want a plain black hat. He looked like an NFL official.
He's really, like, calmed down since they had that talk.
Yeah. Do you think that the video episode is, like, going to be Mark at his quote-unquote weirdest?
I guess so. I think they might never really talk about it again.
If so, Goth Mark is kind of a disappointment because it wasn't that weird.
It wasn't that weird, and you know what? It lived on in a different way because in my head it was much bigger than that.
Maybe we'll get back to it. This is Parker's only appearance, so they probably break up after this episode.
Probably.
Parker
and Judith shack up.
He's like, your family's weird. All right. Yeah, Santa goes off his track and bounces off 3 cars and hits the judge on the head. So Tim can't win.
I mean, he might still win.
Jordan, come on.
Depends on what kind of brain damage we got.
How many Christmas light displays have you been at where the judge gets hit on the head with a Santa and then gave that person the title?
Well, there's a first for everything.
I have never seen it. Final scene. Do you remember this now?
Tool time post-Christmas?
Yeah.
Exchange the stuff that you don't want, including look who's caulking. Oh my gosh. This is another VCR, but they're actually going to play it. They've got 2 babies, one a bit chubbier, who is Al, and one that's a little bit skinnier, who is Tim, and they are narrating, and your sigh kind of said it all. So,
yeah, I could have done without this for sure. I mean, it's fine to make the look who's caulking joke, but why am I seeing these babies with the voiceover?
Yeah, it would have been way better if they just left it with the joke and didn't do the baby thing.
Roll credits, fade to black. A bright Christmas.
Parker?
Well, we better turn the street down to Castle's Corner here, don't you think?
Well, don't forget your blinker.
Never do. Jordan, highs and lows.
Highs and lows. Overall, I'll start overall. I think this was slightly better than average, actually. Some of the video puns were funny and reminded me of a simpler time in our lives as well. I do like... This is one of those episodes where Tim's not, like, screwing up the whole time, so I feel like he's funnier than usual. Mm-hmm. He's got, Frankenstein and frankincense. He's got the partridge tree. All that sorts of stuff's going on, and so that makes for a good Tim episode. Some good jokes. The fruitcake was a bit much. A lot of fruitcake going on, and it is, I guess, a recycled plot, but I felt like it was different enough and good enough that it wasn't, like, annoying, or I wasn't, like, comparing it to the last episode. I took it on its own. So, overall, an enjoyable watch. What do you think?
No lows for you?
Fruitcake's a low. I don't really understand Wilson being upset as, I guess, a low. Like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah. Other than that, I don't know. Nothing really bothered me too much.
The look who's caulking now thing.
Well, yeah. That goes without saying.
All right. True or false? An episode where Tim is not the main character, main plot, is a better Home Improvement episode?
I don't know, because sometimes... I mean, he's more funny, but it maybe is less interesting because
yeah, I guess
he's got more charisma than the other people on the cast. So it's...
I guess it would be better. I guess the one thing you could say is probably Tim is funnier when he's not the star because he can come in, make sort of quick jokes, and then get out, and there's less of the jokes that don't land.
Yeah,
right?
And when Tim screws up, it's usually pretty egregious, I feel like.
Yeah.
So that really, even if he has jokes in the episode, it's pretty much overshadowed by something he says that's sexist or whatever.
Sure. Yeah. For me, I like this episode. I thought that the visual jokes, the Frankenstein and the whatchamacallit there, the partridge was funny. I liked Tim in this episode, as we kind of just said. Not the main attraction, but worth a ride, that's for sure. I think the conflict is good. I don't mind seeing this again. It's a little more nuanced than it was with Art Leonard, because it's we're talking 7 months later. We just not too long ago saw that episode where the Colonel passed away. I actually like Lillian, the character. I think she's good.
Do you mean Lily?
No, I mean Lillian. If we're comparing Lillian to Tim's mom, I really enjoy the Lillian character quite a bit more. And I thought that Parker obviously was great, much more pleasant than Grant Hill ever could dream of being. No, I like the episode. I like the conflict. It's pretty funny. I always like, we're both suckers for the Christmas episodes. Lowe's. Yeah, the fruitcake stuff didn't bother me as much. It's lame. That muffler Easter egg hunt thing was terrible.
Oh, I even forgot about that.
Yeah. What else? Obviously, the look who's caulking now. Like, let's just cut the episode off 10 seconds earlier, and we're in much better shape. But all in all, I enjoyed this one.
There you go. 2 glowing reviews, and I think we all like Parker. Parker. Parker, I barely know her. Is that
when they inevitably reboot Spider-Man again? George Coe passed away. Crap. I was gonna say, could he be in the role? Maybe he's got like a son or something.
Yeah, that'd be nice. You think they're gonna reboot Spider-Man again, like tomorrow?
I mean, not anytime soon, but it will happen
in 25 years.
Yeah, sure. Probably less with the way things go. Probably 12.
We'll see how long the MCU lasts, right?
You said it, man. I can't wait to see what happens.
All right. Social media, the social media aspect of the show. Mm-hmm. If you'd like to reach out to us, go to thehomenpodcast.com, where we've just got a brand new redesign, kind of.
Oh, sort of.
Just a couple small things that we added. But it's worth checking out because our website's just grand.
We did isolate the interviews that we've done into a tab, so you can find those more easily.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And you can go to Facebook and Twitter. We're there as well. And on YouTube. So go to YouTube and follow us there. And you'll get lots of not bonus stuff. You just get the same stuff.
And rate and subscribe below. Right? Isn't that what people say?
Yeah, I think they say click the alarm as well to
What's
be notified. Mean? I think you're notified when a new video comes out or something.
Oh, yeah. You better click that alarm.
Ding, ding.
Sound the alarm. Right?
Sound the alarm. Bam, 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 bam. Okay. If you want to support us, go to patreon.com/homenpodcast. Listen to
What's our next Patreon going to be? Maybe we should announce that for when we do it in a couple months. What do you want to do, Jordan? We always do what I want to do. You decide something. Right
I want to watch Avengers Endgame with you.
Oh, Jordan, that's such an undertaking. Usually we watch things that are like 20 minutes. Or
it would be really hard to
talk about.
You would just come with like a list of all the things you hate, which I think would be funny.
Yeah, that's true. We're not going to do that, but you can pick what we do next, so think about it.
I'll think about it.
Think about something under like 90 minutes or under.
90 minutes or under. Maybe it's... Well, no, I'll think about it.
Okay.
I have ideas. All right. And we last did a Goofy movie. We've done For Richer or Poorer. Jungle to Jungle, which is an oldie but a goodie, started on there, and many other things. Mm-hmm. And we'll be covering more things in the years to come.
Yes.
Maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Depends on how much people support us.
Let's leave the door open, Jordan. As I've been saying, it's best to leave the door open.
It's getting drafty in here.
Unless it's wintertime, unless there's 13 inches of snow coming, then you better close that door.
You better close it and turn on the heat, baby. Mm-hmm. Adam?
Yes.
Well, I should say, leave us a review on iTunes as well. We're up to 45. We need 5 more.
Yeah, 5 more, and we will stop doing the podcast if you want. So if that's a motivating factor for you, just,
It depends on what the 50th person writes. The 50th person, if they write stop the podcast, we'll stop. And if they say keep doing the podcast, we'll keep doing it.
Yeah, okay, good call. Yep.
All right.
You control our destiny.
Let's see it.
Only you can control the destiny of Home Podcast.
Only you. Adam, what's going on Twitter?
Twitter poll, 42 votes. Would you date Al Borland? 36% no, 64% yes.
Who's those 36%?
It was actually very skewed to no before Brett White retweeted it. So
Thank goodness.
yeah,
Brett White, friend of the pod.
friend of the pod, Brett White. And he also said that people answering no are lunatics. So.
He's not wrong.
And then someone else. Twitter usernames are getting out of control. This is Santa is Bones. I can't read it all. Said, y'all are nuts. Al was a stone cold babe. Hey, agree. Tim Allen on Twitter, I retweeted this. He said, I've been watching reruns of Last Man Standing Season 8 premiere for 6 days straight. Man, that Mike Baxter is handsome. And I said, interesting confession. A lot of people are like, I never watch my stuff. Tim Allen is like, I've been watching it for 6 days straight. My own show that I just recorded. Thought that was funny. Do you hit the club? Poll, 22 votes. 64% said no way. 36% said hell yes. And people said some things. Anthony Hefner said, hey, I mean, look, if there's cute girls there, I'm going. So
There you go.
One perspective. Russell Wilson overrated is the username. These usernames are getting out of control.
Incorrect.
Also, yeah, he's not. And I think I said that to him. Russell Wilson is not overrated. He's underrated. Most home improvement viewers are too old for that scene. I don't know,
Interesting.
generalizations being made.
You know, you did have a statement in the last episode about that being possibly stock footage.
Yes.
And I was recording, I forget, I was doing like the Wilson clip or something.
Yes.
And that scene came on right after. And I saw the girls from the episode in it. So I don't think it is stock footage.
This is interesting. I'm glad you brought that up. Good to know. Yeah. Good to know.
So and that means Home Improvement recorded that sweet scene. Lots of finger guns, if you recall.
It had Home Improvement written all over it, the more I think about it. That's pretty much it on Twitter. Yeah, follow us for the fun.
Oh, that's so much fun. How many followers we got now? You said you were getting close to 900, 1,000, million, maybe?
I said we had eclipsed to 800, and we're at 807. So
Keep climbing, buddy.
yeah.
What's that ratio at? 8-1?
Not quite that good. It's 149 to 807. Wow. So, I mean, it's better than, Bird and Grunt work. Last year, Home Podcast, I'm taking shots. There's another new Home Improvement podcast that popped up.
Is there?
Yeah. They like our stuff, though, so they're trying to be,
They're kind of cool, though.
They're kind of kissing the ring, a little bit.
So you like them a little bit better?
Yeah, hey, you gotta when a rookie comes into the NBA and he doesn't show respect to the veterans, it doesn't go well for him, and that's kind of the same way. So I can't say their name because I don't know it, but there is a new one.
All right, well, I'm gonna search them out and find them, and maybe we'll do a big crossover event.
No, we won't.
Just like Marvel.
Just what the world needs, another Home Improvement podcast. God.
Just wait till we start a new endeavor, and we'll be saying the same thing about that, right?
Yeah, you're right. That's it for me, Jordan.
All right, nothing in the mailbag, which means you listeners need to step it up.
Yeah.
You need reviews, and we need mail.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Other than that, let's talk about next week's episode.
Yes, I'd love to.
The old college try.
Interesting. Okay, well, I look forward to that. Jordan, thank you for joining me. Listeners, thank you for listening. And I guess I should say, take care.
Take care, everybody.